Wow. Brie, do you know what episode this is?
I actually don't.
This is episode 1 of season 2.
Season 2 of POV with Hailey and Brie has begun.
Wow, guys.
We have made it. If you've stuck around,
you're a true fan. You can now say that you've been here since the beginning.
It's true.
So then when we blow up and when we get famous, and when we're at the Streamy Awards, and we've got all these celebrities wanting to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
You could say, well, did you know them when they were on? You weren't really a true fan. You were a bandwagoner.
Were you here from episode 1, season 1? I don't know. Were you?
We'll
see. And it doesn't count if you watched episode 1 and jumped off. What the heck, man?
That's rude.
What the heck? We're excited to launch season 2. We have some really exciting stuff coming out.
Yep.
We have some guests this season already lined up.
So good.
So we're really excited. Next episode we'll have a guest.
Mm-hmm.
So stick around for that. You're gonna really want
guess.
Guess?
You may never even know.
You don't know.
Oh.
So yeah, stay tuned for all 13 episodes of season 2. You're not gonna want to miss it.
Oh, so good. So good.
Before we even let you know, actually you probably know from the title what we're talking about. But before we start, Hailey, on this Tuesday, how are you doing on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing, we'll just say a nice little 7.5. You know how much I love me a 7.5.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what did I do today? Went to work, did some homework.
Hey.
I took a nap.
We love naps.
Yeah. It was a little quick nap. So, but, did what I got to do. Now we're here.
Yeah.
Another day on this beautiful green earth.
Another day into the vlog. I'm not going to say that again. I tried it again.
Brie, how are you feeling?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Before coming in, we did some prepping, some planning earlier. Before, doing that, I was probably at like a 5. But Hailey, you got me up to 7.5. So shout out to
a nice little 2.5 jump.
Listen, I highly recommend if you're feeling, I know sometimes the thing to do is to isolate.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're an introvert, that works. I'm an extrovert for sure. So but what's funny is when I'm in those moods, I don't want to be around people. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But it helps me so much. So shout out to Hailey Bird. We have a question of the week.
We do.
We went to McDonald's, so that's why this question came up. Do you bite your straws?
No.
Is that just did you ever bite your straws?
I think when I was younger, I may have bit my straws.
Yeah.
As a very, I don't know.
Because it never happened for me. This straw, I don't know if you can see it. It's bitten.
Yeah, mine.
Even plastic straws I will bite. That's why I get the rubber straws.
Different colors. Can you see that? No, I think I told you this story. I had the Stanley cups. They have a hard plastic straw.
Yeah.
And I ran it over with my car. I lost it one day. I couldn't find it. It wasn't in my cup. And then I was walking to my car the next day and there was a ran over straw and I was like, that's probably mine. So I found these silicone ones. I could bite this, but
so if you run that straw over, you can still use it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you could technically still use it. I don't know how sanitary that is.
You clean it.
It came in a pack of 10.
Oh, you're fine.
So it's one of those.
That's so funny. I love the ingenuity. You buy straws so you can run them over. I buy straws so that I can bite them.
The goal wasn't
No, the goal is never to destroy your straws. It just happens. You run it over, you bite them.
That was really sad. But it's okay. I wonder how many people bite their straws or don't bite their straws,
let us know. Yeah, we'll do a POV poll. How many of our audience members bite their straws?
Bite your straws. Do you bite your straw? Yes or no? Oh, man. All right. Well, Brie, let's give the people what they want. Let's give them a rundown. What exactly are we talking about? First episode of season
Juicy
1.
episode. Going back into our structure, talking about, hey, what are the things that 20-year-olds want to talk about? Or maybe, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Maybe we don't want to talk about. What do we need to talk about?
It needs to be talked about.
What needs to be talked about? And so we're going back into that rhythm. We've been in it all of season 1, but starting again season 2 from the ground up. We're starting with like the early stages of adulthood, and that includes college.
Yep.
So today we're talking about college and the different paths you can take. Hailey and I have took different paths when it comes to college.
Yeah.
And we're both turning out great.
Yeah,
So
I like to think so.
we're going to talk about the bias that sometimes comes with the college decision, the pressure that comes with that. We're going to talk about how it has impacted us, and the challenges that have come with that, the experience that we gained, the things that we avoided, or what our mindset was going into college. So, yeah, I think it's just going to be...
It's going to be good.
It's going to be
Gonna be good.
Yeah, so let's dive in. We're going to start off with some stats.
Woo!
And it's from research.com, so it's...
it's legit when
legit.
it comes from research.com.
When it comes from research.com, what else could be more reliable than something that literally has research
you think something is reliable when it ends in like .org.
No, it's .com.
You're wrong. It's .com.
No, it's actually anything that starts with research. Like, their research,
of course.
They did the research.
We found it online, so it must be true. Okay? This is what we're choosing to believe. This is what we're giving you.
44. Okay. 66%, according to the study, 66%, and this is from a 2019 study, 66% of high school graduates go to college.
This was a study done on how many students? 100?
No, it was more. I said 100 earlier to like make it easier when we were thinking about.
Just kidding.
How does this work?
Okay, so it was a study done. 66%.
It was a study done on some certain amount of people.
Got it.
66, and in the United States. So people watching in Italy, and shout out to our missionary friends watching. But I can't speak for those countries. But this research is 66% of U.S. college graduates U.S. high school graduates go to college. Of those 66%, are we doing a train stop? We can come back to the stats. I mean, it's a perfect time to do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're doing a train stop.
Do you have the info?
Yeah, I have the info. Guys, you need to send in more questions of the train stops because
Chair Guy loves to read them.
Chair Guy
constantly is like getting all of these, these questions, and he loves them. It gives him peace of mind knowing that he's valued. So
yeah, Chair Guy really combs through these questions.
He picks them very articulately.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna Chair Guy, I don't know why you picked this question, but this is from
You silly dude. You silly goose.
This is from your sister. Let's be honest, most of our questions come from your sister. She says, Brie, can you save me a chocolate chip scone on Sunday? But this is hilarious because I read that question when she had submitted it, and I was like, oh yeah, let me do it. Let me save her a chocolate chip scone. And so the other Sunday comes around, and I like grab her scone at like after the 9 a.m. because I'll usually work the 9 a.m. and then I'll see them at the 11 a.m. service. And I go and I grab a scone, and I'm like, here, Ashley, here's your scone. And she's like, it's a scone, not a cookie. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I went through all this work to grab you a scone.
No, it's definitely the scones. I don't know why she said that, but I think when she said
cookie, right? On this question? Am I reading?
No, she likes the scones, but I remember her talking to me because you must have...
Oh, she did say scone.
But you must have...
I did grab a scone for her.
I don't know, but...
Oh, no, it was the other way around. I
think you grabbed a
cookie.
And then I think the next week you also grabbed her a cookie or something.
I did it twice.
And so
she just did it right here.
And she was like... And she told me, I don't know how long ago. It was pretty, like, recent. And she was like, I think Brie thinks I like the cookies. but I don't like the cookies. No, they weren't bad cookies. She
No.
was just saying, like,
She wants
compared
the
to the scones, so good.
Shoot, dude.
Speaking of scones, this past Sunday, I'll make it a very quick story, but I was devastated. I was in line with my brother and my sister, and there was 3 people ahead of me, and there was 4 cinnamon scones. I've never had a cinnamon scone, but
they're so good.
But they were hyping them up, the people that were working in the coffee shop. And so I was like, oh man, there's 4. I'm going to get 1. The man in front of me, the man that was just ordering, had ordered 3 of the scones. And there was only 1 left. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so, like, I told Ashley, I was like, I'm so sad. I really just want that 1 scone. And then, like, I don't know if the people in front of me who were ordering heard or what happened, but they took that 1 scone. And then by the time I went up to order, there was no cinnamon scones
Not
left.
very Christian-like of them. Just kidding.
So one of these days, I will get to try the cinnamon scone because, like, literally, I don't know who was, I forgot who was up there, but they were like, these scones are, like, the cinnamon scones are the best.
They're so good. The cinnamon scones at our church, they have, like, it's 2 layers. So, like, when they cook it, they peel it back. They slather cinnamon in the middle, put it together, cinnamon glaze on top. Oh, my gosh. Heaven. Shout out to our baker.
Hopefully I'll get to try it.
I'll save you 1 this Sunday. Oh, I won't be here. I'll save you 1 in, like, 2 Sundays.
But they change it every month, I thought.
Cinnamon's usually pretty popular.
Okay.
We'll get you a scone. Anyways.
Sorry.
Jumping off the train
stop. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Doot,
Going back to the stats.
Back to the stats.
Okay, we're going to go through this quick.
Yeah.
66% high school graduates go to college. Of the 66%, 44% go to a 4-year college, and 22% go to a 2-year college.
Straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school. So that's interesting because...
That is very interesting.
Here's your 44 and 2% right here. Hailey
44 and 22.
What did I say?
44 and 2%. Yay, I'm the 2%! I'm speaking for the people.
You are. No. You know what I meant.
I know what you meant.
I was going to say I'm not a data person, but that's literally my job, so that's awkward. Hailey went to a 2-year college.
I did.
I went to a 4-year universidad.
You did?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our experience on that and kind of the pressure that comes with college and all the stuff. So I think we want to start with Hailey and, like,
me.
You know, you went to your 2-year college right out of the Bayat, and and now you're in a 4-year.
Now I am.
So, kind of give us the overview of that.
Okay. So when I was in high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and so I was in RSP classes growing up in high school, and it's kind of just like they see that you're behind in certain aspects, so they're kind of like slower-based classes. There's actually a lot of people that were in there. Like, it's actually a lot more common than people think. But so in there, I remember I had a case carrier or whatever because I had an IEP. And I remember telling her, I think I was either like a sophomore or a junior, of telling her like my goals and dreams of, like, she was like, oh, where do you want to go to college? And I was like, oh, I want to go to GCU. Like, it was a Christian college. I knew people at the time when I was in high school going to church, like people would go to GCU because it's a Christian-based college. Yeah. And I was like, man, like, I want to further my education there. And I told her, I was like, oh, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I know I want to go to GCU. And she was like, well, that's not something that we really recommend. Like, basically, I don't know if she meant to put it that way, but basically, my mom can testify because she was there, but basically said, like, we don't really shoot for the stars with kids who have IEPs and are in RSP classes because they don't usually make it. So she
terrible.
was like, you will most likely just end up going to a community college.
And
then
like,
you can grow from there.
It worked out.
It worked out
for you, but, like, I don't like
But
that.
I was like, that's not something I think I would tell anybody. No. Like, you want kids to shoot for the stars. You don't want them to, like, I don't know if she was trying to, like, be as nice as she could and give, like, a reality check, but it was very interesting. So, took what she said and kind of just was like, oh, you know, like this is her job. Maybe she's right. Went to a community college, went to Citrus.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school, I think I took the summer off and then went there in the fall.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to go into nursing. That was funny.
Okay. I was like, no way.
Yeah. I took like 3 science classes, and then I think my last one was anatomy, and I was like, yeah, I literally can't do this. I can't memorize things. It takes me a really long time. And with anatomy, you have to like do it on the fly. My sister's trying to become a nurse right now, and she like also has a lot more, not brain capacity, but like she has a larger attention span than I do. I am very like, okay, this is taking too long. I need to move on. Oh, this is boring. I can't spend 5-6 hours studying or looking at flashcards. My brain doesn't work that way. So did like some, you know, like reflecting, realized that wasn't for me. Wanted to be a teacher, so I was trying to do my gen eds so that I could finish, get my associates, and go to a 4-year so I could go into the teaching program. COVID hit shortly after I made that decision, but at that point I was already taking online classes.
Yeah.
Because I was working full-time, trying to pay my way through school. So online classes were the best fit for me. I don't regret it at all. I know online classes are really hard for some people, because like some people need to be in person and doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I am very like okay with you giving me my homework on a Monday and telling me that I have a week to finish it, because then I can balance out my week and do what I need to do. I can't sit in a 2-hour lecture and then you tell me that I have a 5-page paper that I have to complete next class period. I don't work that way. So that was totally fine. Did that. I actually ended up getting 2 associates from Citrus. I got one in humanities and one in history. Neither of them I am trying to pursue. That was also interesting.
Do you have to get an associate's to go to a 4-year, or can you just like complete the requirements and then go to a 4-year?
Well, to get your, I think you have to get an associate's, because it was a part of like I want to say it was a part of, I don't know, that's more research. I feel like I should know that. But I thought that was what you did. I don't know why I did it. And so I had like a hard time with the counselors there. They were like, one counselor would tell me one thing, the other one would come back and say that's not how it is.
Garbage.
And that's very consistent for that community college. I've talked to a lot of people who are having issues, and I'm just like, consistency, but not good consistency.
Yeah.
I was like, I called up the counselor's office one day and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm literally about to drop out. Like, this is so frustrating. I'm already like almost like an extra like half of a year to like a year into this. Like what do I need? Like, I don't care what associate's degree I graduate with, just give me something. And it just somehow worked out where I took like 1 extra class and I was able to get 2. And then I was going to applied for Cal Poly to get into the teaching program, got in. Then I was kind of having a change of heart of teaching, of course, right when I'm so close. God places something on my heart and is like, hey, maybe this isn't it. Felt very confused, not sure what to do. Also, things weren't lining up.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it online.
Yeah.
So that conflicted with my work schedule. Then I had to like really take a step back and like reevaluate and be like, is this something that I can like financially handle with like cutting my work hours, going from like 40 hours a week working full time to like almost cutting that in half. Like, is that something I can even like financially like have that? Really prayed about it, found out that that's not the path God wants me to be on right now. Who knows what he's going to do to me in the next year or two, but hopefully, like I said, I hope it stays consistent. talked to Brie about it. I was kind of in a really low place. Like, what the heck am I supposed to do? I had like withdrawn my acceptance to Cal Poly, which was super hard. I was like, I literally have to like think of something else to do, or else I'm never gonna go back to college. Brie talked to me about marketing and advertising, which is what she has her degree in. Said I should look into it. Looked into it. Now I am currently at GCU online.
Yeah.
My favorite, which has been a super fun experience. It's a Christian-based college, like I said, so the counselors and the staff and even the like majority of the students have a very big faith background, and it's super cool to have professors that like are like, hey, if you ever need any prayers, like prayer requests, like let me know, or like, you know, I feel like it's a super cool place to be in. So it is currently June 26th. I should be done by the spring.
Totally.
With 2024.
You'll be graduated with your degree.
With my degree.
Spring 2024.
As long as the Lord provides. In 2024, which I am super excited.
Yeah.
I love my job now, but I am excited to see the next chapter that God has for me.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a little rundown. Sorry.
That was a little over. We'll like dive more into like all the things.
What about you, Brie? You went to a 4-year.
Yeah. I went to a 4-year Christian school too. Kind of like, I don't know how similar it is to GCU. Like, do you know if GCU requires like chapel, like has chapel requirements for like in-person students?
I don't know. I want to say, I think so.
Okay.
I know that I had to take a like a Christian like background kind of class.
Yeah.
So it talks about like the Bible and stuff. So I would assume that they kind of have that.
Yeah.
I know that they do offer like live streams of like chapel and like stuff online that I have access to, but yeah, I'm not sure, but
when I was at APU, they required so that you were allowed 10 absences during the semester, but you were required to go to 3 chapels a week. So
wow.
And now it's like even more limited options, but like we had Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning chapel, and then like there was a Wednesday night chapel, Thursday night chapel. Was there any? I think there was another one, Monday night for seniors.
How long were the chapels?
The morning ones were like 45-minute long chapels. The night ones, like they like you only have to stay for 45 minutes, but the worship like goes on long. The Kaleo Wednesday night chapels on fire. Like they were just like, I think
they knew what they were doing.
They knew, yeah. Like imagine like Lauren and Isaac like times 10.
Oh my gosh, the people don't know what we're talking about.
Not talent wise, but like people wise, like that.
Oh,
like
okay.
that, like them, like multiplied.
Oh man,
on a worship team.
The people that are listening, I don't know if Lauren and Isaac are listening, but honestly, like these people need to be famous. If you have never heard Lauren and Isaac sing, you need to come to Grace Church. You need to come to, we have a 9 a.m. service, we have an 11 a.m. service. It's just a little plug for the church, but
like even if you're not Christian, just come
listen to them sing. Like they are such, like God really put his time and effort and his hand and them.
Yeah, they're just like great people too. They're
like angels.
Yeah, they're sweet.
It's so good. I honestly, I can't get enough.
Can't get enough.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Little appreciation.
Little plug. Anyways, so went to a 4-year college, but going backwards, like to like why.
Yeah.
In high school, I was like all my friends were very, very smart. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe this is just in my mind. I don't know if anybody from high school is watching that. That's a whole other thing to try to process if anyone from high school is watching, but
that's okay.
Welcome. But in my mind, like the people I was friends with was like the this sounds so bad, but like the popular crew, like I was not the popular crew, but my friends.
You were in the popular crew.
No. Was not, but like was friends with people.
Oh,
friends
from
of
the
friends,
popular
friends
people.
with people. But everybody in this group that I was in kind of like not in, like friends with,
Yeah.
part of the group sometimes, kind of, like,
Yeah.
it was weird. But they were all geniuses, like so smart, like went to, like one of my best friend got accepted to Stanford,
Oh,
like
wow.
other friends, like all the UCs, like you name it, like just like they were geniuses, and still are. They're like killing it right now.
That's good.
But there was very much like, and I don't want to like blame that, but because of like, and maybe it's the school too. Like my school was very like, gotta go to a UC, gotta go to like a 4-year.
So it was like highly encouraged.
It was like highly encouraged to like go to a 4-year. And maybe this was me being judgy and like a teenager, and I just needed to grow up. But like in my head, like I almost like would have this judgment towards people who like weren't going to a 4-year, and this is terrible now that I know. And I'm saying this in front of you.
We wouldn't have been friends. I'm just kidding.
I honestly think if I had been friends with you, I would have been a much more well-rounded person. Because like I think back on college me and college Brie, high school Brie was just a very judgy person, in general. Not too bad, but like I could have been a lot like in my head a lot.
I feel like teenage girls are always pretty judgy.
Yeah, probably. So I just had it in my head that like, my other option, I knew that was cheaper, that probably would have saved my family a lot of money. I would have got to stay with my family, was like the 4-year community college there.
Okay.
It's not even a community college. It's a state school.
Yeah, that's not a community, a 4-year.
But I just did not. I just was like.
You're just like not having it.
No,
You're like, I need to spread my wings.
Yeah, I need to spread my wings.
I need to go down south.
I don't know what happened, why I chose APU. It was between APU and San Jose State. And at one point, CSU Long Beach was in the picture.
Okay.
Oh, no, not Long Beach, Fullerton. Really liked that school. But anyways, came to APU, loved the campus, ended up being like, yeah, that's my school. It
was a nice campus.
It was a nice campus.
It's very community oriented. Yeah. I've only been there a couple of times
when we went and toured the campus as like a senior in high school. Multiple people came up to me and were like, hey, is it your first time here? Like, hey, you should really try the smoothies. I had someone swipe for me in the coffee shop to like buy my smoothie. They also have a program that I did when I was there, like as a student, but it's called the ambassador program. So like if you're a senior, you get to like stay the night with a freshman there and like do the like the things. I didn't do that as a senior, but like the way that they like bring people in.
Yeah.
Genius.
They have programs
Genius
for
marketing. But yeah, so that's where I ended up, chose marketing as my major, went through college, ended up, I realized I also did the honors program.
Okay.
So I didn't have to do most of my GEs because honors, like you do that class and it like qualifies as like your GEs. So I didn't have to take like philosophy or like some of the, I did have to take biology, which was stupid. I hate biology.
Stupid.
I don't like biology. Anyways, because of that and because of some other things, I only needed 3 more classes to get a minor in biblical studies. So I got my minor in biblical studies and my minor in humanities. So I was able to like double minor and major in marketing. Don't do marketing now. I do finance. But yeah, that was the path into college.
Wow.
So, yeah, very interesting. Like the pressure that I felt to, and not from my parents. My parents were like, yeah, you should probably go to like a 2-year college. Like you'd save a lot of money. It's the same thing. Like my dad was like, it's literally the same thing. You're saving money and you're learning the same amount. You get to stay here. So and maybe that's why, that's why I was like, no offense, Dad, but maybe that's why I was like, I gotta go because I'm always, You
just wanted something new. You just wanted some change.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I think more than like being judgy, it was more like I wanted the college experience.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's also not that I wanted like my own space, because I remember like struggling so hard to like move. I was like on the way down, on the drive down to college, I was crying.
Yeah.
The only way that my parents got me to actually like commit and go was like, hey, we're going to pack up all your stuff in a van. We're going to go down. We're going to move you in. If on the last day you don't want to stay, like we'll pack up your room and we'll go back home and we'll figure out college. Like we'll figure out something else. So that took a lot of pressure off me to be like, okay, like I didn't decide like officially, yes, I'm doing this until like June. I was like, okay, like I'm going to college. But like I was so stressed because like I was like, is this where God wants me? I don't know. I don't feel it. Oh, this is another also random story. But I was thinking that, and I was having a hard time because of how expensive it was.
Yeah.
And I knew if I had gone to a 2-year that it would be a lot cheaper, or if I went to San Jose State, like my parents like paid for tuition and stuff, so they wouldn't have had to pay for like housing.
Yeah.
But so I was having a really hard time, and during the summer, I went to my grandparents' house on my dad's side, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go to APU. And they got really upset. They were like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you're not going to APU? And my grandma was like, this, like, and I hadn't talked to her at all about college, but she's like, this is where God wants you. Like, I've been praying about it, like, for you. And, like, I heard from the Lord, like, that this is where you're meant to be. And, like, from that stage on, I was very frustrated for a long time because I was like,
Why are you telling my
why are you
grandma?
telling my grandma? Why aren't you telling me? Like, I'm right here. I've been praying this whole time for you to tell me, like, what to do, and you're going to tell my grandma? All that to say, I was, like, very, like, what the heck is going on? Not sure. So I was very hesitant going into it. I was not excited. When I got to college, there was a huge party going on. Like, they had all this, like, you know, welcome weekends, like a big thing. And so got to experience that. My brother fell off the bunk bed moving in, almost broke his arm.
Oh my gosh.
My roommate's like, Sierra, we'll be having her on at some point.
Yeah.
She was like, what the heck? Like, this girl and her, like, 3 brothers, her parents are all here. It's just me and my mom and my dad, and this girl's brother's breaking arms and, like, all this stuff.
Going crazy.
Going crazy,
The Havens
basically.
family knows how to party.
I had been nannying all summer, so I came in with, like, nannying for a girl who works for Pepperidge Farms, who does, like, goldfish and, like, Milanos. So I came in with a big bag of, like, goldfish and Milanos and, like, all the, like, assorted cookies.
She's like, where are you getting all these
like,
things?
why do you have a full-on? And I was like, listen, this is free snacks.
Yeah.
I'm a college student now. Gotta save money.
Stock up.
Anyways, so that was, like, my college experience. That all said, there are challenges with both aspects. What do you think the biggest hardship of, like, the 2-year to where you are now has been?
The biggest hardship, I think as of now, it has just been, like, the difference in like how much it costs.
Oh yeah.
I want to say, like, the classes hasn't been, like, really that much more like stressful or anything. I really just say, like, going from a community college to a university is obviously, like, a really big jump
in price.
And so like, when you're in community college, it's something that's way more, it's like, it's super easy, like, not super easy, but, like, it's way more manageable to pay than I feel like university is. Especially since my courses are, GCU online does a program where it's, like, 8 weeks, like, a course, every class is 8 weeks, and it's, like, a consecutive. And so you're able to get it done faster.
Do you want to tell us the price difference between, like, GCU to, like,
I
Citrus?
can.
For courses?
Yeah. So depending on the course, I'd say, like, the average course at Citrus was around, like, $300 to $350.
Okay.
Which was super reasonable, I thought, for 2 semesters. I think you had to sign up like a semester at a time at Citrus. So it would be about like $1,000, maybe a little bit more. I mean, a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on how many classes you're taking, what you're doing. At GCU, shout out to FAFSA, because clearly I couldn't do this without it. If you have no help from FAFSA, it's each class is about $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Wow
wild.
is right. So going from like $350 for a 16-week course, because I'm pretty sure that's how long a semester is. I've been so out of the game for a while. To one 8-week class is like, what? But I get it's a difference. Like, you know, there's a lot of factors that come into play with like, these are, I don't know, they got to pay, you know, for the school, and they got to pay their professors, and there's more stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's been like a super hard aspect. Probably like the biggest challenge that I like am heading into is just like the financial aspect of it. It's not like something that I can just like work my way up in, like saving. Like obviously I'm trying my best, but it's not something where I can be like, oh, here's $350. Like take my money. It's like I don't have $2,000 saved up every 8 weeks I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but it's like
that's
a lot. That's like every month you're saving, you're putting like
you're
putting $1,000
more than your whole
and that's
paycheck.
a lot. That's a lot. That's a hard
so thank you, FAFSA.
Thing to switch up on. So what about you? What do you think yours?
I'm gonna mine's a little different direction just because of like where I was at, but I think for me in college the hardest aspect was the social aspect. Like the academics were hard. The you know, I had to transition to like providing for myself. You know, like cooking meals, planning out like, well, freshman year I had points, but like all the other years like cooking, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I think like the social aspect, like there were all these programs that I wanted to be involved in, didn't get some of the programs that I wanted to, you know, be in. There's a program called Alpha program, and it was like, you know, you get that and you were cool, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I grew a lot. Like I think the college experience is what I wanted, and was super fun, and I have like lifelong friends from college, but it was hard. Like there's a lot of growing up that happened in 4 years, whether it was like learning to deal with roommates, learning to deal with conflict in relationships, like in friendships. I think because I had never had like a deep like you know, not to say that my high school relationships weren't real and weren't deep, but like in college, you know, you just, when you're living together, you get deeper. And so, you know, dealing with that was hard. So yeah, the social aspect was a challenge, and there was a lot of growth that was done. I think I became a lot more mature, a lot more extroverted somehow. So yeah, I think that was the biggest challenge, was like socially, like how do I not compare myself and not hold myself to other standards, but instead hold myself to God's standards and like my own standards, because I was chasing after things that I didn't even want, but things that other people wanted. And so I was like, oh, they want it, I admire them, I like them, I must do that. So but I think starting sophomore year, like I really started getting into my own, okay, like what does Brie like, what are Brie's strengths, where do Brie's strengths lead her and make her go. Talking about myself in third person, sorry, but
no, that's okay.
And so that led into like growth socially, but also a lot of growth spiritually. But it was hard, like, you know, being away from family and going through like hard situations, laptops being stolen.
Yeah.
Talked about that on a previous episode. That was a hard thing. Roommates going through
Hard
like
stuff.
very hard situations. And breakups or whatever it was.
And not having like your family right there,
Yeah.
like how it was for a long time.
Yeah.
It's probably hard. Yeah.
So, that was hard.
Yeah, that sounds wild. I would hate if my laptop was stolen.
Yeah. Yeah, you would.
So since you went to APU for 4 years, how do you think that spiritually impacted you in your 4 years there?
I think, I can't begin to like imagine where I would be without APU. Like, not that it was the chapels, not that it was like actually APU itself, but I think the people at APU, my roommates, my the leadership roles that I was in, and the classes that I took, because I did a biblical studies major or minor. Like, I was very in the word, and you were in chapel 3 times a week, so you were that was constantly on your mind. So I think it definitely, like, going from a community that I didn't have, where there was no Christians except my family.
Yeah.
And then going to like, oh, all my friends are Christian. Even the people I'm not friends with, they're Christian. Calling yourself Christian doesn't make yourself Christian, but participating in these things and volunteering together and going on missions trips together. And like, I went to the Philippines my junior year, going into senior year. And that was a big, we can talk about that on another episode, because that's a whole other like thing to dive into. And just like, my perspective changed a lot on like what was important. And it was no longer like, okay, I want to do marketing to make money. But it was like, okay, how is my career, and this is something we talked a lot about in our marketing classes, but like, how are you gonna glorify and honor God in your career? Like, your career is your ministry. And so like, having that realization, like, it was big. So I don't know if that made sense.
No, that was good.
Yeah. What about you? Spiritually, like, how has college affected you?
I can see a big shift in like what I don't know. I think just going from Citrus to GCU, obviously going from a non-Christian, community college to a Christian university, I didn't really like think or understand like how significant it was going to be on my faith journey or in my growth, like spiritual growth process, until like I experienced it, if that makes sense. GCU has been great so far. I've only taken a couple of classes, but I thought it was super cool and like eye-opening to like have a class that was literally just about God and the Bible. And it really challenged me, because I like sometimes have a very hard time opening up God's word. But I shouldn't, because it's literally like everything I need is like right there. But sometimes it's hard to discern yourself and to really, I'm not a big reader. So like trying to find ways around it. Like, I don't know, like just like, I know the Bible app is really useful. You just press play and it reads this reads it to you. And you just follow along. But it was super cool to just use, it wasn't like, a lot of it was also like, it was like biblical and like learning about the Bible, but a lot of it was also like, how do you take this into like the real world, and like having Christ at the center, but also like from like a Christian standpoint, what does this mean? Or like whatever. And I was like, stuff that like the world like doesn't really like teach you or like shed light on. So like that was super cool and really eye-opening. I think that really helped me a lot have like a very like Christ-centered experience.
Yeah.
Because it was, oh, like this is my home, like not that this was like my homework and I had to do it, but it was like there was designated time
Yeah.
for me to spend time with the Lord.
Yeah.
And it really like helped me continue that process on
Yeah.
and like instill that in my brain. So that way I'm able to do it like after, the class was over. So yeah.
So we both have kind of had like a Christian aspect in our schooling.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to somebody going to like a UC or a state school or something that's not Christian affiliated, because you did have that experience?
Yeah.
But either on campus or online, like what would your advice be to somebody who is a Christian and is going to one of those schools?
I think because of the fact that I've had both experiences, I think that if you are a Christian and you are wanting to pursue and grow your faith, I think it's very important to lead into community. Sometimes majority of the time they have that on campus. They probably have Christian clubs, but I did it online. So like at Citrus for a little bit. So I probably didn't even like think about it because I wasn't going on campus.
Yeah.
But like really leaning into your community. I know like there's lots of people, like even like Brie, for instance, like she like went to a Christian college, but she leaned into community and found Grace Church. And so when you don't have the opportunity or the privilege to go to a Christian college and like really lean in and like talk about faith with professors or, with classmates, I think it's really important it's really easy to lose track of your faith and to get off path.
Yeah.
But I think if you lean into community and you really discern yourself and like want to pursue God and really intentionally spend time with him, then I think you can go anywhere, but it really takes discernment and intention. Because without that, then it's easy to get off track, like I said, but really leaning into community, like as much as I can like reiterate discernment and like intentional time with the Lord is really important and can really transform your spiritual relationship. Yeah.
100% agree. I think just like, getting plugged in, like wherever you are, if you're on a college campus and you're living on a college campus, get plugged in like a Christian club, but also get plugged in a church, like, or community just a community of believers. Surround yourself with people. All right.
So good.
Getting to the end. Thanks for sticking through it with us. POV time.
POV.
With Hailey and Brie. Okay. I'm going to go first this time. I think I went first last time, but whatever.
It's okay.
POV, since we're talking about school, including, so all the different levels. I can't speak for masters and above, but kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, college, of those 5, elementary school is the hardest. I struggled so much in elementary school, like would get like C's and D's, and then finally 4th grade I got a B. Actually, no, I would get D's and F's in like 1st through 3rd grade. 4th grade,
What were you doing?
I don't know, I was struggling hard.
Oh no.
4th grade, I finally got my first B. 5th grade, I got 1 A. Get to middle school and high school, straight A's. I don't know what it is, but
I think mine was backwards.
Elementary sucks.
I think elementary school, I was good. Middle school, not a good time for Hailey.
Ooh.
Like,
well, it's just
freshman year, no bueno, and then it just went up after that. Well, everybody's got their own experiences, but that's your POV. That's
my POV.
So interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
I've never heard that before. My POV. This is my POV.
Okay. Uh-oh, I'm scared.
One of my top 5 biggest pet peeves, and I feel like this needs to be known because I feel like people can really relate to this, is when you eat something and you have leftovers, and so you like put it away in a Tupperware and you put it in the fridge, and someone throws it away. But you had full intentions to eat it.
Oh, that's rough. But I do remember a few episodes back you saying that you don't eat your leftovers.
I know. And I understand because that's super hard. Because my family's like, how are we supposed to know Hailey wanted this when she doesn't eat her leftovers? I get it. I'm a hard person to really just read. But sometimes that's really hard. Today, I had leftover mac and cheese because I had mac and cheese for dinner. And ironically, coincidentally, the last time my food got thrown away was mac and cheese. And it was honestly terrible timing too, because I don't remember what episode it was, but it was season 1. And I don't know what my POV was. I don't think it even had anything to do with my POV, but I think I said I was excited because I was going to go home and eat my mac and cheese.
And it was gone.
That night it was gone. My sister had gone on some health cleaning kick, which never happens. And she cleaned out the fridge and she threw away my mac and cheese.
That's terrible.
I never got to finish it and it was so good. Today, you know, lo and behold, the Lord was with me. The Lord was watching over my mac and cheese in the fridge.
Bless.
Lord provided.
Lord provides.
Got home, ate my mac and cheese. But it just made me think, I was like, I'm so glad Ashley didn't go on like another health cleaning kick, because then my mac and cheese would have been thrown away.
Yeah.
Then I would have been like, that's not a coincidence. You did that on purpose.
Whoa.
Now you're attacking me and my mac and cheese.
You're projecting.
And now we have an issue.
You're projecting. You gotta eat your mac and cheese. Leave it at that.
I got to eat my mac and cheese, so everything's fine. But that's my POV, is I don't like when I put stuff in the fridge and it gets thrown away. But I understand how hard and confusing that is, as Brie pointed out, because sometimes I don't eat my leftovers. But it's what happens.
Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I'll see it later.
All right.
All right,
Those
guys.
are our POVs. That's our college experience.
So good.
Stay tuned for next week. We have a special guest.
Guess?
Don't want to miss it.
Yes.
Yes?
You'll never know.
You don't know what we're saying.
All right, guys. That's been a wrap on season 2, episode 2. We'll see you next week.
POV with Hailey.